Hi guys, in today's video we are going to be taking a look at the Captain Jack barrel loadout for Captain Deadbeard in Plants vs Zombies Battle for Neighborville. So the idea of this series is to give you guys some ideas of playstyles and upgrade combinations you can try with different characters that may give you an added challenge, help you to get more vanquishes, give you some different strategies to try with your favourite character, or share a new perspective on a character you are not so fond of. Also, please note that this class was made with a character at master rank, meaning they have unlocked all the perks for the character, so some perks you may have to work up to. As usual, just before we begin, remember to hit those like and subscribe buttons if you enjoy the content on this channel and want to help it grow. Anyway, let's get started. So the loadout I have put together today is called Captain Jack Barrel, and the idea of this loadout is to completely flip Captain Deadbeard's usual playstyle on its head, turning him into a close combat explosives expert. Now by default you want to primarily use Deadbeard's spyglass shot as it does the most damage, and stay at the back because taking on multiple enemies up close is not what he's geared for and he will often get his butt kicked. However, with this loadout we are going to focus on improving his two close range attacks, which include the scurvy scatter shot and barrel blast. When creating this loadout I was actually surprised at how effective and fun to use it turned out to be. Anyway, let's take a look at the upgrades for this loadout. So we have powder keg that costs 1 point, incoming keg which costs 3 points, and finally long barrel that also costs 3 points. So I'm going to start off with powder keg. Now initially I chose this upgrade as after choosing the two other upgrades I had only 1 point left and it seemed the most sensible option. However, the more I used it, the more I came to realise its benefit. So what powder keg does is it increases the height in which Deadbeard is fired into the air when he explodes during barrel blast. So this adds some additional utility to one of his abilities. The first one is that when this upgrade is equipped, the height Deadbeard is fired into the air is actually pretty similar to Anchors Away. So if Anchors Away is on recharge and you want to try and get a height advantage over your enemy, you can use barrel blast as a substitute. The only issue of course is that you would waste the ability's damage, so I would only suggest using this technique if you really need to. However, what this ability also can help you do is to either escape combat, but this takes some pre-planning, or it can be used to confuse your enemy. So if you're going for a more hit and run tactic with barrel blast, you can rush an enemy, explode, which will either instantly vanquish them or do a heavy chunk of damage, and then use the height gain to get onto a ledge and run away. But of course you need to plan this to make sure your enemy is near a ledge, which of course isn't always possible. The other way is using it to confuse your enemy, and this works best if you've done a lot of damage to a plant but not vanquished them. As you are fired into the air much higher than if using barrel blast without the upgrade, you will likely be out of the other player's field of view and they may lose track of you. You can then use scurvy scattershot to finish the job. The second upgrade I have for you is the incoming barrel upgrade, which again is another one that is going to help barrel blast, particularly as this playstyle involves relying heavily on this ability to be our main damage dealer. Incoming barrel increases Captain Deadbeard's speed when inside his barrel, and it's quite a significant speed boost. This increase is applied to both when he is just in the barrel and when you light the fuse, and this is insanely useful at following your enemy and getting more vanquishes, as the most immediate response from a player is to just run away when they see a Deadbeard charging at them. The final upgrade for this loadout is long barrel, and this is going to give our shotgun, the scurvy scattershot, a much needed boost. Unfortunately there isn't an upgrade that increases this weapon's damage, but long barrel reduces the spread of the weapon, making it much more accurate and useful at longer ranges. This can also be very handy when trying to take on some of the other characters, and whilst initially it doesn't look like this weapon can do much damage, if you are able to dart about and confuse your enemy as well as hit them with the shotgun, you can actually go one-on-one with them and actually come out on top. Now there was one issue I found with this perk, is that sometimes it will glitch and it will stop working, which can be frustrating. However, when it happened to me, the next time I respawned or got vanquished it seemed to fix itself, but that's something to bear in mind. So now that we've discussed the upgrades and made both the barrel blast ability and scurvy scattershot weapon more viable to use in close quarters combat, the real fun begins when it comes to the playstyle. As explained at the start, the idea of this is to abandon Deadbeard's long range tactics and invert them, so the playstyle really involves using the spyglass shot rarely, if at all. Now yes, you can use the spyglass shot at close range, it's tricky to do but not impossible. However, when I created this loadout I wanted to discover whether Deadbeard could hold his own without his beloved sniper, and it turns out he can. With that being said, the way to use this loadout the best is to pretty much rely on barrel blast to do most of the work for you, and then use scatter shot to mop up any of those landlubbers. So what you're going to want to do is to start pretty much every encounter with barrel blast. As we have incoming keg active, you can ambush and chase down most enemies, and unless you're going up against oak or citron, you can pretty much insta vanquish any plant. The trick with barrel blast is that you want to try and time the explosion in a way that by the time your enemy has seen Deadbeard running at them, it's already too late. Also, barrel blast has a cooldown of 15 seconds, so you can use it pretty frequently. Now if you do miss, and this is quite likely as surprisingly the blast radius of barrel blast isn't that big, you can do one of two things. The first is to try and finish them off with the scatter shot, or you can use anchors away to try and help you escape. Deadbeard is also a pretty speedy character, so you can often run away without being vanquished. When it comes to the parrot, you are allowed to use it with this loadout, but again, unlike normally where you kind of fly up as high as you can and stay at the back, with this loadout you want to stay low and be really aggressive. Most players don't expect the bird coming at them so closely, and it can give you some cheeky vanquishes. Now like I said before, you can use the spyglass shot, but only use it at opportune moments. If you're running around and trying to get up close and personal, but you see a nightcap that's just asking to be one-shotted, then that's definitely allowed. But in other situations, and to give yourself a bit of a challenge, only use the shotgun and barrel blast. Overall, out of all of the loadouts I have done so far, I have to admit that this one has been the most fun and enjoyable to use. I guess it just feels kind of silly running around as a sniper attempting to take on the likes of Chomper and Snapdragon, who are actually built for those types of situations. I was also really surprised at how effective this loadout can be, particularly in Team Vanquish. So again, if you're looking for something really to change up the style and pace of one of the characters in BFN, I highly recommend this loadout. Anyway guys, that's about it for today's video. I hope you enjoyed. Let me know what you think of this loadout in the comments below, and let me know if there are any other loadouts I should try. Other than that, remember to subscribe, and I shall see you in the next one. Okay, thanks guys, bye.